bum, 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 bum. Good morning, everyone out there in the world. Let's see. There we go. Ah, what a pristine morning here. How's everybody going out there? Oh, guys. Bum, 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 bum. So, I don't know if anyone's out there, but good morning. Happy Sunday. It is a beautiful Sunday down here in South Florida. It's just just a hint of a breeze in the air. Feels amazing. Feels wonderful. Feels great to go outside and not wear a jacket. Jeans and a t-shirt is all you need, really. And just dumbfounded again by this administration's lack of accountability and incompetence. That's cruelty, incompetence, no accountability. That's basically 3 words I would use to summarize this administration. They are cruel to just about everyone. It doesn't matter unless you are a Trump sycophant. They are cruel to you. Incompetence. Don't get me started on incompetence. It's just beyond incompetent. Every single person in that administration is beyond incompetent, or they play incompetent. And it seems that they're playing dumb to satisfy Trump's needs, right? Trump wants to be the smartest person in the world. And so every single person out there in his administration kind of bows down to him, gives him high praises. But in reality, they're incompetent. They're not doing their job. Their jobs are the secretary of whatever to enforce those rules. But the only thing they do is they do what Trump tells them to do. So how is that competence? It's terrible. But what can you do? Ah, good morning out there. It's a beautiful morning out here. Just going for a walk. Bum, ba, bum, bum. Bum, ba, bum, bum. Let's see, where's my favorite bench? Oh, there it is. Let's go take a look at that. My favorite bench here. Well, my second favorite bench, I would say. How's your day? Hello there. My day is great. Let's see. Let's see. Who's this? Good morning, everybody. Let's see. Hi there. Oh, I didn't have to wipe. Oh, I don't know. I would probably double check on that because, you know, you know. Anyway, where are you guys at? Because again, I'm down in South Florida, so I'm curious where you people are watching me from. Say hello. Same. I slept in my chair. Well, that sounds like a recipe for a back problem. Hopefully, it wasn't a lazy boy. That's the corporation that's responsible for many broken backs in America. Yeah. Hello there, private name F4N. I'm sleeping on a rocking chair right now. I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of those lazy boys, those big things that are recliners that you sleep in, because for a quarter of a century, I've been scanning patients who slept in those, and they have broken backs after spending a third of their life in rocking chairs, so their spine forms in a weird way. So, let's see. What is your opinion on cake? Um, let's see. Cake. Well, I like few cakes, not all of them. I like European cakes where the batter is made out of cream and not sugar, like here in the United States. So that's my opinion on cakes. Do I like sleeping? Well, yeah, but I sleep in the bed. Mm. Mm-mm. So where are you guys? Where are you guys from? There is a sub in. There's a sub in. Okay, well, thank you. Mm. Ah, what a beautiful day today. See, I my weather here is perfect. It's gorgeous. Love it. I have to go by. All right, take it easy. Good morning, everyone. Generally, my channel is devoted to some kind of political talk, but what a great day. Mm. It's so beautiful around here right now. Acting. All right, looks like I lost a few people here. The signal went out. So, anyway, good morning, you guys. Anyone out there? Hi there. Let's try a Q&A sticker. Let's see. Let's try a Q&A. I don't want candy. I with this stupid thing off the screen. Anyway, whatever. Hi, guys. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. There, that might be better. Everybody sleep well last night? I did. Man, it was a great sleep. I didn't have to wake up to pee. It was good. Finishing my morning coffee. What a gorgeous day. Flip the camera here. Let's see. Where are we going? We gotta take this little winding path here. Let's see where we come up. Interesting. All right. Everyone's so quiet. So, I see about 10 people watching. So, tell me, guys, where are you guys from and what do you like to do? I'm in South Florida. I work in healthcare for the last 26 years this year. And I'm waiting for the shit to drop on the ACA credits expiring in a couple weeks. So again, I do mostly political stuff here, but I'm open to other topics as well. Yeah, so Florida being one of those states that has an exceptionally high number of people who are securing their insurance through ACA is going to be ravaged basically here in 2 weeks. So I hope that the MAGA folk that voted for all this, I hope they're not surprised. Well, they will be surprised. And some of them are already getting the letters from the government stating that their premiums are going to rise 100% to 100% depending on what their credits were. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. But, I mean, there's some people who cannot learn, right, from gathering information. They are only capable of learning by experience. Right? You ever come across those people where no matter what you tell them, no matter what evidence you present to them, they are not going to listen. They don't care. And they will basically do whatever the heck they want to do. And at the end, they will experience something bad, even though there's a warning label that says, hey, don't touch it, it's hot, or don't stick your hand in the water, there's a crocodile in there. But they don't like to listen to others. They have a problem with listening to others, and so they learn what we call by experience. Learning by experience is not a bad thing as long as you follow some guidelines and some rules. But in case of those people, they only learn by hurting themselves, which is what's going to happen with the ACA here pretty soon. But I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully these people will be okay. I don't wish anybody bad, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's gonna be good. So, yeah. So, yep. If you join me here, drop in the comments. Tell me where you're from. Drop a topic. I'm talking about what's going on with ACA in the next couple weeks here. But I'm open to all topics. You guys tell me what you want to talk about. And again, I'm down in South Florida, Palm Beach County. So, yeah. Oh, look, somebody is a commie moron. I'm not a communist. A communist is somebody who, communism is an ideology where workers control the production, and I don't control production. And I don't wish for workers to control production. I wish for fair prices and fair wages. That's not communism. So, yeah. So, Pincher 34, I don't think you understand how communism works. And so, there's your comment. So, recommend that you, again, look up a definition of that before you call me a commie moron. So, I'm not sure why would you call me a commie moron. Like, what did I say in the last couple minutes? That the ACA expiration credits, is that what makes me a commie moron? Yeah. But anyway, so I'm not worried myself because I'm not affected by it. So, but my patients will be, so they'll be hurting. And I wonder if Pincher 34 is going to be affected by it. But probably not. Sounds like either he doesn't know yet, or she or he, whoever it is, they don't know yet whether to be affected or not. But the whole economy is going to be affected by that because pretty much everything is interlinked, right? Your healthcare is linked to your job these days, right? So if you lose your job, you lose your healthcare benefits. The only other option is to secure something through the government if you qualify, which most of the time many people don't, and because for whatever reason. And so if they get sick, then they cannot work, right? So it's a vicious cycle, right? So you're sick, you can't work, and you can't work because you're sick. And it's a simple cycle. You don't need PhD in anything to understand that fact. And many people understand that fact, right? You can't become disabled because you're not. And even if you tried, it takes years to get disability, as those who on disability can tell you that they fight with the government for God knows how long. I remember my father was diagnosed with cancer where he had to be isolated. He was going to retire. He got diagnosed at 64. He was going to retire in a couple of years, right? And he got cancer. And then it was leukemia, right? So, and he needed to get a treatment that would isolate him from people for a while because he had no immune system. And so he applied for disability because he essentially became disabled. He couldn't work. And it took months of that before they approved that. And that was with cancer diagnosis, right? The terminal cancer, nevertheless. But yeah. Let's see, new comment. Biden pooped his pants again. Oh, and you know this because you work for Biden and you change his pants? That's probably the only way to do that. I mean, okay, maybe he did. I mean, he is an old guy, right? He's got cancer, everything else. So, I work with elderly patients, and a lot of elderly patients do poop their pants because guess what? They're old. They can't hold their bowels. This is nothing new. This is the fact of life. If you would spend a day of your life in the hospital working on the floor in a geriatric facility, you would know this, right? But because I don't know, I guess because you drink Trump's Kool-Aid, then you post a comment like Biden pooped his pants again. Yeah. Like I said, Probably did. So does Trump. He's been rumored to do that for decades now. You know, he doesn't drink alcohol, he tells us, but then he takes some other drugs to stay up all night and watch Twitter and TV and eat the shit that he eats that puts him in the hospital. He was in the hospital again just not too long ago. Just this weekend. So yeah. But anyway, yeah. But back to what I was saying is, what was I saying? Because I got interrupted by this. Let's see. Sounds like you have been drinking the Democrat Kool-Aid for decades. No, Chris, I have not been drinking the Democrat Kool-Aid for decades. I worked in healthcare for 26 years, and I watched what policies do to people from the healthcare perspective. So that's not drinking Kool-Aid. That's seeing this in real life, in first person, me seeing what's happening. So my recommendation to you, Chris, is that you read up on policy and read up on what do you call on patient experiences in the hospital and their outcomes, and then come back and tell me if it's me drinking Kool-Aid. Because my entire conversation here has to do with the ACA credits and insurance rates going up, and hospital care, and people dropping off of insurance. So how is that a Democrat Kool-Aid? How is that? You think that people don't deserve healthcare? You think that healthcare is only for certain people but not for everybody else, right? What does that make you? A selective fascist, right? Let's see. Remember, the policy has been written mainly by Democrats over the decades. I do agree we need a universal healthcare. Yes. So okay. Yes, the policy was written by Democrats because the Republicans weren't interested in it. And guess what? It's 15 years later, they're still not interested, right? They have a concept of it. You remember the concept of a plan? I'm sure you do, right? Concept of a plan, right? It's a running joke for last 15 years or whatever it is. Concept of a plan. So the Democrat or the Republicans don't have a plan at all. And what have they been doing the entire time, right? They've been trying to strip and shut down the ACA by various means. You're talking to 16 people. You know what? Fine. I'm talking to 16 people. Great. I appreciate those 16 people. Thank you for listening to me. But maybe it's going to be 17 later. Oh, it's 17 now. But anyway. Back to Chris. The policy was written, all right, Obamacare, as you guys like to call it, the ACA, was written at a time where insurance rates were increasing 5% per year for 5-6 years in a row, right? I remember when this started, because I remember having guys from GM, right? I took care of this back when I lived in Detroit. I worked in one of the hospitals there. And I remember having GM guys come in and complain that their drug prescription prices went up from $2 to $5, right? So they more than doubled their copay for their drugs. And they've been complaining about it ever since. And then if you look at the auto industry and how much money people are making, they're not making as much money as they used to, right? For some reason that dropped, right? And now they're responsible for all their health care pretty much. There's no subsidies for those people. They pay out of pocket at work. The policy became a policy, that the law became law because insurance rates were going through the roof. There was no stopping. There was no law that would stop them. So one thing that Obamacare did correct is that it stopped the increases. And what I maybe don't agree with, because it didn't have support, was that it was a law that would force everyone to purchase insurance. Now, in the back of your mind, if you think about it logically, yes, that would make sense. And it would make sense because why? Because that means there would be a larger pool of people in the insurance, and therefore costs would be shared more evenly. But unfortunately, we live in the United States where people do not understand what it's like to share costs. They prefer to pay more in taxes. They prefer to pay more in, because you end up paying taxes anyway, right? You end up paying taxes for the people who cannot obtain insurance. So you pay for them already as it is, right? The government gets a reimbursement or gives a reimbursement to hospitals for taking care of those who cannot afford insurance. That's been the law since 1976, even when the Supreme Court in 1976 said that even prisoners, even those on death row, deserve care, same care as you and I, right? So those people we're already paying for. And in addition to that, there's the private companies that they charge a bunch of money, and only 50, let's say 50 cents out of every dollar that you pay in your premium goes back to your health care, and everything else goes into investments, investors, and CEO salaries and C-suite salaries and whatever the hell else they're doing. So you already are paying for all this. Now, the Koch brothers, which is a conservative right-wing group, they did a study, and they found out that having universal health care for everyone is actually cheaper, will be cheaper, costing us less in money than having the current system that we have right now. So the conservatives said that. It wasn't that. So on the Democrats decided that it's the conservative group that actually did the calculations. So, yeah, let me see. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments here. Let's see. I call shrink inflation on groceries and insurance. Yeah. So I don't know how it is wherever you guys are, but my insurance on my cars, home, went up through the roof in the last 5 years. Its deductibles are all high, and you get less. I call that shrink inflation. Inflation, yes, exactly. So absolutely. So your deductibles keep rising every year. I think my family deductible went up from, I want to say, $3,000 to $3,200 this year through my insurance, through work. But then I pay another $7,000 or $6,000 in actual insurance costs. So it ends up being about 10 grand a year for my family plan. There's 5 of us. But that doesn't include everything, because there's certain things that are not covered under insurance. So certain medications are only half covered. Even after I pay off my deductible, the medicine is not covered. So I take a blood pressure medicine that I have to take. So that is not covered. I go through GoodRx because they end up being cheaper than through my insurance. Right. So there's a tip for you out there if you're looking to get a better price on medication. Either do GoodRx or go through Mark Cuban's pharmacy. So their medication is super cheap comparing to everybody else around here. So, but yeah. So if we had universal coverage, if we actually expanded the ACA to everyone and eliminated private insurance, we don't necessarily have to eliminate private insurance. You can always use it as a supplemental insurance, right? So everyone can purchase a supplemental insurance if they choose to, if they have the means to. But we're already paying high enough taxes, and we're already paying high enough deductibles, and we already are paying for people who are uninsured, that actually if we mandated tax that was universal tax on everyone, like the other 32 or 33 other urbanized civilized countries have, and they actually end up paying for insurance through their taxes for every single person, we would have the same benefit. But there's, again, as I was saying at some point, that some people do not learn by reading, they do not learn by observing, they can only learn by an example. So, which is what's going to happen to a lot of people come January 1st, 2nd, when they're going to find a rude awakening that what they thought was maybe an emergency procedure will be now only elective, right? Trump and his administration have been trying to fight the EMTALA law. And if you don't know what the EMTALA law is, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. And that is an act that says that if you are sick and you come to the hospital has to save your life or perform any kind of treatment that would stop you from dying. They don't necessarily have to do like anything beyond that, right? They wouldn't give you, let's say, if you came in with a burn, for example, they can treat your burns, but you're not entitled to cosmetic surgery to fix that if it's not medically necessary, right? So, but the EMTALA law, they've been trying to fight EMTALA law mainly because of abortion, right? So, and that affects all pregnant people. You know how many pregnant women walk in through the door every single day to the hospital and they have an emergency? How many of them come in at 18, 19, 20 weeks, and they're experiencing heavy vaginal bleeding, which sometimes is a sign that the baby's in distress, that the uterus is in distress. Too many. And Trump is trying to fight that law. He's been fighting that law ever since his first term because he associates that law with abortion for some damn reason, right? But let's see what let's see. All those people in the United States need to get together and stop paying it, and then they'll put their prices. Yeah. Too cool 765. I mean, that is how generally power of the people works. However, in the United States, the problem is that people are not united in any way. We're divided in half. Half of us are divided because we want to fight for human rights, and the other half is looking at Donald Trump as their Jesus baby savior, Lord, overlord of everything. And that's how we're divided. We're not necessarily divided by what our goals are. We're divided by our ideologies, right? Our ideology, let's say on my side, I tend to lean more liberal, more democratic and independent than Republican, or share some Republican ideas as well. So, but again, I am for making sure that our tax money goes to people, to all of us, to benefit as many people as possible. The GOP side, the Republican side, they look at special interest groups, right? The billionaires, the big companies. This is where the money is being diverted to. If you look at the legislation that was signed, a beautiful big bill that supposedly claims there's going to be no tax on overtime, there's going to be no tax on tips, right? No one talks about that anymore, right? For some reason, it has fizzled out because when you look at the provisions, it is not going to be as easy to obtain those deductions. And those are deductions. It's not like you're going to see your paycheck go through the roof. It's something that you have to file at the end of the year. So you're not going to see anything until the next year if you file correctly, right? So that's an example of that little scheme. And also in that big, beautiful bill, there were some provisions that were given to big corporations, like reduction of the corporate tax rate, a permanent reduction of corporate tax rate. And a permanent reduction of corporate tax rate means that that's it. That's what they're paying. They're not going to be paying anything more than what they did. And a lot of people, will make America great again. Well, when America was kind of great when it came to taxes is when the billionaires were paying 90% of their taxes. And now they're not paying even 15%. 15% is max what they pay on their investments because they can somehow maneuver their money around from income into investment or bonuses or distributions or whatever else that whatever other vehicles that have been created specifically for them to keep their money. And you think that's going to result in great job numbers? No, unemployment is high again, right? Unemployment is it's worse than it was with Joe Biden this time last year. Unemployment was lower with Joe Biden than it is with Donald Trump. Inflation was lower with Joe Biden than it is with Donald Trump. The gas prices are down a few cents. I noticed that, which I'm happy about that. But again, if you see me anywhere and you heard me, I would say something about gas prices. The only time a president controls gas prices is when he signs deals with places like OPEC, right? So Trump did sign a deal with OPEC during COVID. The deal was signed to reduce the amount of production because a lot of American oil companies were going bankrupt, and this is verifiable. This is a verifiable information. You can go ahead and look it up. There was a law. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a treaty that he signed with OPEC to reduce the inflation. And interesting enough, production, excuse me. And interesting enough, that law, that treaty, that pact with OPEC was running into Joe Biden's candidacy, right? So or presidency. So if Trump would have won that term that Joe Biden won, the price would have been the same because that was the contract he signed with OPEC. And the very minute that contract expired, the very minute prices started going down 10 cents a day. This is verifiable information. This is not like I'm not making shit up. This is something that it's a public knowledge. It's been out there. I've taken the liberty of snapping a photo of the gas prices ever since Trump got elected. And down here in Palm Beach County, this is where Trump lives. Yeah, right. He's about 30 minutes from me. Gas at my local gas station here is about 319. It has been 319 since last October. Oh, not this past October, but October 2024. So this is not anything new. The prices have come down just a tiny bit. They are some days they're like 280 down here. Some days they're a little bit more. But the prices overall are not that far down. I'm glad they are, but that's nothing to do with him, with the president doing anything. That is essentially the market forces right now. There's no agreements or laws that are stopping production with OPEC or anything like that. So they're not being influenced by that. So yeah. But anyway, say hello to my neighbor. Morning.
Hello.
Hi guys. Yeah, I guess maybe there's gators in here, so yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Mikey, you're too close.
So anyhow, I was saying hello to my neighbors here. There's when you're in Florida, you don't want to stick your foot in the water that you can't see, and there's gators out here, and one of their kids was running out there. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, so yeah, gas prices are down just a little bit, but everything else is up. So everything else is essentially up at this point. So you're not really, the economy is not getting any better. It's not doing any better. Put it this way. I mean, if you think it does, you're basically lying to yourself. If you're only looking at the few cents that the gas prices have come down, then you're lying to yourself. You know what's up by 11 or 12% is heating oil, heating gas. I'm sorry, for this year. Good morning. Hello. Thanks. So if you look at the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, if you look at the website, there's a summary that came up just recently, and there was a summary of prices thus far from January 1st until now. And guess what? The price of gas, the heating gas for your home is up 11%. 11%. Let's see. Someone's saying not true. Not true. What? Which part? Not true. Yeah. And hello, Lou Douglas. 112. Let's see. 1227. Hello. Which part is not true, Angelo? Because those are things that we can easily verify. Please let me know which part I was saying is not true. Gas is way down. Gasoline and gas, two different things. I was talking about gas, like the one that comes into your house, the one that you use for heating, for cooking. Gas is up 11%. Gasoline is down a few cents. So right now, what I can find on my gas station is about $3 is the average around here. It was $3.19 for the entire year until just recently. And if you look at how gas prices fluctuate, usually around this time, around holidays, right, around Christmas, the gas prices tend to go down because certain parts of the economy shut down for Christmas. So the demand slows down. Let's see. Obama and Biden had every opportunity to release the files. Let's see. Because of drill, baby. Let me see. They got to protect pedos. Yes, way down. So let's see, Angelo. Gas is way down. Gasoline is down a little bit. Yes. They got to protect the pedos. Well, that seems like what the DOJ is doing right now. They are protecting pedophiles. And I don't care which side of pedophiles, whether it's Democratic pedophiles or Republican pedophiles, they're protecting them all right now. Let's see, because of drill, baby, drill. And Angelo, okay, yeah. So I don't know if you understand, Angelo, but the type of crude oil that we produce in the United States of America is not the type that we use for our gasoline engines. So once you look it up, it's the wrong kind of crude. We import most of our gas, our gasoline, our oil, because ours is not that great, right? So drill, baby, drill is not gonna help that. We get more. Canada is our number one uh, exporter of oil to the United States because they have great oil, right? Or some of it actually, so the stuff that, remember the pipeline, the Keystone pipeline that travels all the way down to Texas or Louisiana? Forgot which one it is, but that's where Canadian oil travels down to. Let's see. Obama and Biden had every opportunity to release the files. Yes, so absolutely. So they had an opportunity and they were investigating, and I'm not sure why they didn't. And I think they should have. If for whatever reason they didn't, and I don't know why they didn't, but yeah, I agree with you on that one. They should have. I'm assuming that was because it was during the investigative period still. See, cars are more expensive. Absolutely, cars are more expensive because of tariffs. Um, we don't make all our parts here, right, in the United States. So any kind of parts that we import are tariffed right now, right? Tariff imposed on car parts, also on used car parts as well. I've been trying to fix my old 1999 3000 GT, and some of the parts are going up in price. That's my little collector car. Let's see, my natural gas is down. Well, according to BLM, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics, the gas is up 11%, almost 12% actually. Foreign cars are up because of tariffs, Angelo. So I drive Hondas, and both of them are made in Alabama. So, yeah, that's not it. So, American cars like Ford, GM, and well, it used to be called Chrysler anyway. I don't know what the hell they call themselves, but they import most of their parts. They don't make most of those parts in the United States. So that's why American cars are up as well. There's no right and left. Uni party. I mean, I don't know, Scott. I think, like I said, I think in ideology, maybe everybody has the same goal at the end, but the ideology prevents us from attaining that goal. See, American cars use foreign materials and therefore more expensive, Angelo. Yes, correct. Thank you, Cream Burley. Where are you from? Me? Well, I'm in Florida. I was born originally in Poland. I moved to the United States in 1988. So, as a political refugee child. So, yeah. Refugee, political, away from communism. So, I lived in communism. So, I know what communism feels like. It isn't rocket science. Yeah, it's not. Let's see, Angela. I'm in Illinois and we use natural gas from the ground. So, Angela, so is it like you have your own tap somewhere on natural gas, or do you subscribe to the city gas? I'm curious because that may make a difference. Let's see, Monterey labels give stats on every car markup. They are assembled in Alabama. Yes. So yeah, but there's many parts that are actually made in the United States as well for those Hondas. So they are assembled. They're all made 100% in the United States with, I think, something like 70%, maybe 60, 70% American parts. I think the only thing that's assembled not in the United States is the engines, which is why my Honda Pilot is lasting 200,000 miles. It's perfect. And before you come at me, in my youth, I worked for Chrysler, so I've seen what they were doing with the engines back then. Let's see, natural gas in PA is ridiculous. The fluctuations are insane. So, Jason, you can see that, right? The gas prices, the natural gas prices are also tied to supply and demand and some other factors, right? Delivery charges probably are getting ridiculous right now. I'm assuming that's what we're talking about, the delivery charges. If you look at the bill, they probably charge you gas price, and then there's a delivery charge, and that changes quite a bit. Let's see. And let's see, it's a gas company that uses natural gas that they get from ground here in Illinois, not from Canada. Okay, Angela, when I said gasoline, oil from Canada, I meant the crude the car gasoline. We're not talking about the natural gas, the vapor gas that you light up. Those are two different things. See, that's the problem here in the United States. Maybe we should switch to the word petrol so that we all know that we're talking about gasoline, like they do in Great Britain. Petrol versus natural gas. So it has a huge fluctuation. Delivery charge is set rate along with customer charge. Really? That's interesting. It's generally, I know that delivery charges used to, well, maybe something changed. I don't know. Delivery charges used to fluctuate quite a bit. Wow. Yeah, but you're seeing that there's definitely an increase, right, over time. As I said, Bureau of Labor and Statistics has indicated that the average price for the United States, the average consumer index price for natural gas is up 11, almost 12% actually. So, yeah, and I'm not sure who, the whataboutism, the one person here or there that doesn't see that, or they can dispute that their prices went up, but overall average is definitely up. So, but anyway, I've been on here for 47 minutes and my walk is over. So I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Thank you for joining me. I will probably do this next Sunday if it doesn't rain. Let's see here. LNG is going to be much more expensive now that the Trump administration struck a $750 billion LNG deal with Europe. Your electric bill could reach the same cost as your mortgage or rent. God, I hope you're wrong, but yeah, the incompetence level of this administration is astounding, and it's costing us more and more and more. So while we're saving 10 cents at the pump, fucking spending hundreds of dollars at home for everything else. So, but anyway, again, listen, you guys, thank you for joining me. I'm gonna say good day, goodbye. You can subscribe to my channel. I do every Monday or every day when I drive to work. I make a little video about the news that is out there, that is posted, and I do my own little commentary. And it's usually a 3-minute video, nothing long, because I do the 3-minute shorts. And stop by, say hi, subscribe, comment, whatever. There's a nice Audi. Whew, my neighbor's got a nice, beautiful Audi convertible. But anyway, yeah. So every day, thoughts on my way to work. I drive and I give my thoughts on the previous day's news headlines. So thank you again for joining. You guys have a great day. I'm gonna go do my family thing now. Bye.